I'm going to take you through the strategies and policies that we are using in the Ministry of Energy to promote clean cooking. And I think many of us are aware that the Ministry of Energy has set a target to achieve universal clean cooking by 2028. So what is the ministry doing to achieve this? We will get to know through the presentation. Go to the next slide, please. In my presentation, I'm covering a few strategies. Then there will be a session that will elaborate on the ongoing development of strategies, the National Clean Cooking Strategy and the Electric Cooking Strategy. So I will walk you through the bioenergy strategy, behavior change and communication strategy, the energy efficiency strategy, the gender policy, and the energy compact, the clean cooking compact, which is not on the screen. But thereafter, the ones highlighted in yellow, the Kenya National Clean Cooking Strategy and the Electric Cooking Strategy, will be presented by the consultants who are helping us to develop the strategies. Next slide. Now, the key objective of this strategy is to promote sustainable bioenergy production, distribution and utilization, and to use bioenergy in a clean form, because previously we have been using bioenergy in polluting forms, and this has been our major problem, and this is why we are experiencing a lot of health implications, consuming polluting biomass using inefficient cooking devices. Now, the specific objectives of this strategy are to promote sustainable production and consumption. We are also accelerating the transition to clean cooking. We are providing potential investors in the bioenergy sector with information on available opportunities for investment. And lastly, it serves as a framework for regional, international cooperation and trade in bioenergy products. Now, the approach that the Ministry of Energy has used to promote bioenergy development, sustainable bioenergy development in this country, is to use a value chain approach. And for this reason, we have put together some innovation platforms. These innovation platforms revolve around the forms of bioenergy that we find in this country. One of them is, first of all is the enabling environment, because without the enabling environment, really you cannot achieve anything. The first innovation platform is about the enabling environment. What is government doing? What policies do we have? What regulations are in place? What standards are in place to support bioenergy development? Then the second innovation platform is on solid biomass. And solid biomass encompasses a number of fuels. This includes firewood, charcoal, briquettes, and pellets. So under the solid biomass innovation platform, we will be addressing those four components. And there's also bioenergy waste, which I forgot. The third platform is on gaseous fuels. And this mainly includes biogas. There's a new development called bio-LPG, which is still in its infancy. So we do not have a lot of information, and I will not talk much about it. Then there are also the liquid biofuels. What is more popular in our market now is bioethanol, though there's biodiesel, which is also used for, it can be used for cooking, but in the Kenyan market, we really don't have a lot of that. What we have is bioethanol and ethanol gel. So each of these innovation platforms has got the objectives that they are meeting. I will not read through them. But at the same time, we envisage that each innovation platform should have a champion that drives it. So for the enabling environment, it's the government, Ministry of Energy and Petroleum. Then for the biomass, solid biomass, we have a couple of champions. There's CCAK for firewood, KFS for, that is Kenya Forestry Service, for charcoal, the Briquettes Association for briquettes, and Ministry of Energy again for bioenergy waste, and pellets, we have KEFRI. On biogas, we have an association for biogas practitioners called Bionet. It's the one that is promoting the biogas innovation platform. And for liquid fuels, we have CCAK as the champion. In the next slide, we have some other innovation platforms that have been identified, but not much of activity is going on now, but we have parked them aside for future consideration. This includes the cogeneration innovation platform and the biofuels for transportation. Of course, we are dealing mostly with clean cooking, so the transport sector is a different sector, so we will discuss with the transport sector when the time comes for discussing the use of biodiesel in the transport sector. Next slide. Now, the delivery of bioenergy strategy is anchored under a delivery desk within the Ministry of Energy, which has the roles of establishing the coordination office, preparing the terms of reference for innovation platforms, delivering a communication strategy, developing a website and monitoring and evaluation, as well as recruiting partners who are bringing in fresh information, then technology development and dissemination. What I forgot to say is that innovation platforms are active platforms which can be joined by fresh partners as and when the champion so decides. So they'll be coordinating the development around specific issues, which I'll mention in the next slide. These are the 14 issues that the innovation platforms will focus on. Basically, it's about production, infrastructure, capacity building, financing, policy and institutions, energy nexus, research, technology and innovation, communication and awareness, gender mainstreaming, environmental sustainability, and monitoring and evaluation and communication strategy. It's a whole broad range of activities that will enable the people who are participating in these innovation platforms to discuss these issues exhaustively and bring the gaps to the table and also suggest ways of addressing those gaps. Next slide. Within the bioenergy strategy, we have strategic interventions. I will not read through all these, but these are short-term and long-term interventions that are meant to facilitate implementation of the strategy. If you go to the back of the bioenergy strategy, you will find a table that guides implementation, and it elaborates on all these themes. And the strategy is a soft copy. You can find it online, so I will not belabor going into the details of what is covered under these subtopics because of the time limit. So I come now to the behavior change and communication strategy. This is a strategy that was developed under the auspices of the project promoting climate-friendly cooking, which is funded by the Green Climate Fund and GIZ, also co-funded by the government in kind, the Ministry of Energy. And the purpose of this behavior change and communication strategy is to increase awareness on the benefits of using clean cooking technologies, and also the dangers of the smoke that they inhale when they are using polluting fuels. Now, we have a rallying call. The rallying call for the awareness creation campaign under the behavior change and communication strategy is Upishi Bora, Afya Bora. It literally translates to better cooking methods for better health. So what we are calling upon Kenyans to do is to change their cooking habits so that they can enjoy the benefits of a clean environment, they can enjoy better health, and they can also generate some income from clean cooking activities. And also, of course, contribute to the national goal, the climate change. We are all being affected by climate change, left, right, and center. So it's a key issue in abetting climate change. Now, the key messages revolve around money saving, time saving, environmental protection, and improvement of health. And I think this is because those who have been reading the literature around cooking, inhaling smoke as you cook leads to certain health conditions that also result in death. And therefore, upon to embrace the clean cooking options so that they can protect their bodies against these ailments. Then in this communication strategy, we are looking at the primary audience as the women for obvious reasons. I think everybody who that women have a big contribution to make to cooking in the house. Though some of you, I think, will tell me that this is changing. We are seeing more men getting into the kitchens to cook because of improved technologies that are coming around. And probably in a few years to come, we shall be having a schedule for the man and the woman of the house taking charge of the cooking process in the kitchen. The secondary audience are men, and this is mainly because of the influence they have on the financial aspects of acquiring cooking gadgets in the household. And apart from men, there are other there's other secondary audience that the communication strategy is targeting. These include community networks. In communities, we have people who influence change within society, and these are also a key target for our communication. We are looking at private sector players because private sector holds the key to providing the technology that we need to change our behavior to clean cooking within our households. Then the media, they help us to pass out the message. So media, wherever you are, please take down this message that Kenyans are being called upon to embrace clean cooking. And for the youth, the young generation have got a very important contribution to make in clean cooking. Because of the energy they have, because of the familiarity with the technology, they can manipulate technology anyhow they want. And they are also the decision makers of tomorrow. So these people need to get into what we are doing now so that when some of us exit, after 32 years in the clean cooking sector, I think I have done the younger to come in. Next slide. The behavior change communication strategy has got a number of tactics that are listed within it. And we have above the line tactics. These include media advertising, broadcast SMS, social media adverts, promotional t-shirts, lessons, and umbrellas. We also have below the line activation. And below the line we are talking about, we go to the community, we take all these messages there, we facilitate communities to acquire the messages. The environment. We have agriculture extension officers because of their contact with the people. They regularly advise people. Then the Water Users Association, they protect the water catchments, and tree preservation is a part of the protection of the water catchments. We have women groups. Women groups, I think, have got an influence on society, and they have their contribution in terms of carrying on messages. When they sit, they discuss important issues, and other women listen. So there are various strategies and tactics that are being targeted within this strategy. On ideation and branding and the rallying call that I just mentioned, Upishi Bora, Afya Bora, we are talking about visibility kit that will be used by the partners within the GCF Climate Friendly Cooking Project. Then we have information, education, and communication materials, such as flyers and brochures, short videos like the one you just watched when we were starting. We have digital and social media messages. I think some of you may have been receiving some of these messages following the awareness creation campaign that was initiated in September this year. Then on execution of an awareness and behavior change strategy, we are looking at having a brand ambassador for clean cooking. And we can have a national ambassador as well as ambassadors within the counties, county level ambassadors. And this is a part of the plan to popularize. We need somebody who can give the impression that the clean cooking message deserves within the households, within institutions, so that the general public can really embrace. They identify that message with that person. If you remember the Beyond Zero campaign that was happening in the last regime, we need something like that, somebody who can speak out for clean cooking within Kenya. Then we are talking about media briefings, regional and county dialogue, and demonstrations also. Then when we are focusing on elements of behavior change, we are looking at using kits on stove utilization. We are looking at chamas as entry points. Chama is a Swahili word for women groups. You use a women or a grouping that brings together people of like mind to discuss certain issues. Those are entry points where you can have the messages on clean cooking really popularized. We are looking at demonstrating model kitchens for institutions and households. I do not yet know what this will look like, but this is part of the thinking under the GCF Climate Friendly Cooking Project. I think partners will help us to decipher what a model kitchen looks like. Thank you. Then on media advocacy, we are talking about direct and indirect engagement. The direct engagement consists of the Editors Guild, Association of Media Women in Kenya, dissemination of news fact sheets, news release, the how-to articles, and media workshops. Then we also have letters to the editor and guest editorials as indirect engagement. Then partnerships and coalitions. We have periodic roundtable meetings, development and publishing knowledge management products, and learning points for the BCC. Then social events. We have national and regional county events. And the private sector and industry players, we have regional engagement of those players to become agents of change, and expert review of marketing strategies for industry players. Next slide. Now, in the BCC strategy, we have an estimated cost for implementation. This cost is 2.4 billion Kenya shillings for the period 2022 to 2024. And this is not money which is currently available, but we have partial funding from the GCF Climate Friendly Project. This is the one that has facilitated the campaigns that were launched in September this year. And we are also encouraging partners in clean cooking to use the strategy to inform their actions, because the strategy can be customized to any other clean cooking option to inform and educate Kenyans. Then the implementation matrix also guides on the cost estimates that you can use to implement a specific strategy or to implement specific tactics that are mentioned within the strategy. Next slide. Now, the energy efficiency and conservation strategy, there's just a small portion that I have picked to contribute to, which contributes to clean cooking. But the broader strategy focuses on improving energy security, reducing expenditure, reducing the strain on the national grid, and lowering the cost of externalities associated. It focuses, with regard to clean cooking, it focuses on households, buildings, industry and agriculture, and transport and utilities. And for the Clean Cooking Week, we are focusing on the household sector, where the target, one of the targets is to increase the use of improved efficient biomass to 50% in Kenyan households. Now, it also has some recommendations and recognizes the gazettement of new performance standards for cook stoves in 2019, developing voluntary labeling for improved cook stoves, the need to develop minimum efficiency energy performance standards for cooking product categories, and enhanced research, as well as economic incentives and the need for awareness and communication, as well as establishment of a testing lab. The gender policy in energy. The goal is to achieve gender parity within the energy sector, and it has objectives to strengthen institutional frameworks for gender equality, to ensure compliance with the Constitution, increase awareness on gender, and integrate gender in energy programs, and also promote clean cooking solutions. Some of the, move on. It has some policy concerns regarding the way men and women are affected differently by energy development. It's also concerned about gender neutrality in policies. It underscores the principles of gender equality. And it is also concerned by the fact that programs implemented over the years have really not brought gender concerns on board. And it highlights some examples of these programs. Gender policy and clean cooking. Of course, we are looking at the harmful effects, which I've already mentioned, the amount of time spent by women, the low awareness, which is prevalent within our communities. And it commits to coordinate the availability of gender disaggregated data, to conduct awareness campaigns on gender mainstreaming, to promote gender considerations in planning, and promote access to clean cooking fuels, as well as engaging the youth. I think I was happy when I met somebody from the gender ministry, and she told me that she has come with a couple of youth who are in this meeting. I hope we will get to meet them. The Clean Cooking Energy Compact. It commits Kenya to achieve universal access to modern energy cooking services by rural and urban households, and it is aligned to the 2030 agenda for SDGs, the Paris Agreement, net zero, and leaving no one behind, strengthening inclusion and interlinkages and synergies. Then the Clean Cooking Compact was developed in 2021 as a response to international call by the Sustainable Energy for All. And some of the targets that are within the compact include transitioning all public institutions, that is boarding schools, hospitals, TVETs, from using biomass to higher tier cooking solutions. It also commits to accelerate the adoption of clean cooking technologies, and it commits to transition all micro, small, and medium enterprises to clean cooking solutions. And further, it commits to review and develop the enabling policies and regulation. Then It also champions for acceleration of adoption and use of clean cooking solutions globally, regionally, and nationally. And with that, I think I've tried to do a walkthrough. It was just said it was just a walkthrough. So those who would like to get the more detailed information, these documents are available online. We welcome you to consult the documents and see where you can engage. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Back to you, Eric.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Wandera. Wandera, you've